Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Spiritual Dowsey. I'm Dowsey LeMay. I hope all you beautiful souls out there are doing okay wherever you are in the world. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to watch these videos, and I'm just grateful and thankful that they resonate with you, and appreciate the continued love and support. So let's talk about the idea of change and why we as creators need to get used to the idea of change in the next few years, and perhaps give you a little insight to how to deal with that, as well as to why these changes are occurring at a fairly rapid pace in our reality personally and collectively. So before I go any further, know that these are my truths, my experiences that have guided me down my own spiritual path. They don't have to be yours, so use your own discernment, take what resonates with you and leave the rest. Okay. So we're going to have to get used to the idea of change in the next couple of years, without a doubt. And many of us don't like the idea of change, right? Who likes change? And it's completely understandable. And the reason is because we are so comfortable with what we have known up until now, right? We are so comfortable with the little proverbial box that we have built around us, our so-called world that we exist in, because it holds our beliefs. It holds everything we have known, everything we have been taught, everything that we have held on to from an experience, as well as what we have been projected onto from other people, right? And it's basically, it holds all the things that we know about ourselves, and it holds the things that we don't like about ourselves as well. And we cling to that box, right? We defend that box with our lives because it makes us so comfortable, even though that box may not be for our highest good, right? Some of those boxes that people have around them are very dysfunctional. In fact, some of those boxes, for the vast majority of us, are very limiting, very restrictive, can also be almost described as slave-like, or I would say subservient in some way, right? There's just far more expansive world out there when people are able to look outside their box. But either here or now, what we know is that in any given case, what we know is that that box is what we are very comfortable with, and we don't like it to be disturbed. So when we have change that comes in, and we experience that as an external event, right, and an external experience, those variables come in and they shift things around a little bit, right? They make us feel a little bit uncomfortable, right? And the energetics, if you will, causes it to be a little more disharmonious, and it makes us feel things that we don't like to feel, right? What do we feel? Those so-called negative emotions: fear, anger, hurt, pain, anxiety, stress, depression, sadness, etc., right? And even though those changes that may be coming in may be for our highest good, we are desperate in some ways to keep our box the way they are, because it helps us avoid those things that we have been running from, those negative emotions. And you can think about those programs that you have running in the background about yourself, right? Think about those issues and those traumas around self-worth, abandonment, lack of love, failure issues, etc., right? You are desperate to not feel those things. So this box that you have built around you is a way to coexist with that pain, and to help you not feel, or to help you avoid feeling those emotions about yourself. So what I think many people have an issue with is that when it comes to the idea of change, many people have this type of victimhood type of mentality around change, right? It's like an external event that comes in and it causes us and forces us to change our behavior or change our lives. And to me, I want to share perhaps why that isn't quite my truth, but maybe something that will resonate with you regarding being more empowered as the creator, and why change is occurring in our reality. So to me, what is occurring is basically you and I and the rest of the collective here are embodying a new consciousness. And that consciousness is vibrating at a vastly different rate than what you have held on to before. Think about yourself now compared to several years ago, right? You are embodying a lot more light. You're embodying a different frequency. You're embodying a different way of thinking, as well as you have different desires compared to several years ago. In fact, you're probably a much different person today than you were to the beginning of this whole global pandemic pattern that's playing out on our planet at the moment. So think about your life now in comparison to the past. Think about the desires that you have now compared to where you were before. So ask yourself this question, or ask yourself these questions. What is it that you desire in your life now that you don't have currently? What are you desiring to experience something new that you don't quite have in your life at the moment, right? Maybe it's a new relationship. Maybe it's a new experience. Maybe are you desiring something materialistic that you don't currently have in the moment, right? Perhaps you're looking for more joy, love, compassion, abundance, peace in your life that you don't feel like you have now. Or even better, have you guys been writing out goals for 2021 already, right? Saying, oh, we're at near the end of the year and I'd like to write out some goals. The fact that you're writing out goals for 2021, although they're aspirational, is an indication that you are desiring something different than where you currently are in the now moment. Or perhaps you've been asking or desiring something on a more collective basis, maybe a more harmonious way of living with the planet Earth, right? Cleaner water, fresher air, maybe a way for humanity to get along. Maybe we could deal with all this dysfunction that's showing up in our reality for humanity to live with more compassion, abundance, and freedoms, right? That is all an indication that right now, those desires and what you're holding on to is vibrating at a vastly different speed than where you are now. You are desiring a different state of being than where you currently are now. And if you think about your life is the sum of all the best decision-making, thinking, actions, beliefs at the moment, the sum of it now. And if you're unhappy with that and you're desiring something new, what makes you think the same thinking is going to allow you to get to something new? Right? Change needs to occur for you to get something of which you are desiring new, which you haven't experienced up until now. So what happens is that many of us are desiring a new experience. Many of us collectively and personally are desiring a new vibrational state of being compared to where we are now and what we've experienced in the past. And so what happens energetically is that we have a discord, a dissonance, a disharmonious state of being which reflects a new state desired compared to where we currently are. And energetically speaking, that's like oil and water. And what happens via the law of attraction is that the physical, which I've always stated, always lags the energetic. The energetics come first and then the physical comes after, gets reflected in your reality via the discord, the emotional triggering, all the energetics that you feel that no longer align with you, and you are getting mirrored back a belief that needs to shift around for you to get to where you want. That is change, folks. It's you as a creator being desiring something new, a vibrational difference to where you currently are, and then it's being reflected out via the law of attraction as you as the creator holding on to those energetics, and your reality must shift to make room for that new you that you are desiring. That's change. That is how you are creating the change. And that is why there's so much rapid change occurring within personal reality as well as the collective reality, right? The problem is, and that many will find, is that our little box that you become so attached to causes you to be resistant to change, even though you're the one desiring that change, right? And what you get is that the question is, why do you feel so resistant to that change? And the old saying says that when people feel that the pain of staying the same equals the same as the pain of change, you'll start to see changes in people's life. And so the question is to ask yourself is that if you are right now are having a very difficult time with change and it's causing you a lot of pain, you have to ask yourself what your beliefs are. You have to look at the box that you're holding on to understand what is not in alignment with your desires that you are trying to achieve. right? Something has to give. Something has to shift. Either your desires have to shift or your current beliefs have to shift. In most cases, people are being forced to look at their beliefs currently to shift those around so that they can move into their higher state of being, around their goals, around their desires, etc. So ask yourself these questions, a little exercise to say, what are your beliefs about where you currently are, right? Are they limiting beliefs? Are they beliefs about fear? Are they fear beliefs, right? What's stopping you from getting what you want? Another way to ask that is a great thing to say, what are the excuses that are stopping you from getting the things that you want in your life? Is it because of money? Is it because of time? Is it because you don't feel like you're worthy? Is it whatever, right? These questions and the answers you're giving are a great way to get an idea of what this box that you have built around yourself. It's a great way to understand the attachments and the emotional currency that you've built into your little world that's causing you pain, that's causing you to resist the change that you're the one desiring, you're the one bringing about, and it's asking you to look at it and say, hey, creator, you have these beliefs that's stopping you from getting what you want. It's time for you to shift that. Otherwise, you're going to continue to feel the discord. You're going to continue to feel the stress, the negative emotions associated with that box that you have built, right? It's time for many of you guys to look at that box and start breaking apart that box, because the energetics that are coming about is definitely causing that box to kind of collapse on itself. So what you have to be mindful is that as we move along, you individually as well as the collective have been desiring a new way to source our reality. And what do I mean by that? Okay. Our old structure of which we have known, in which we have built our reality around, was built in a different consciousness. And our consciousness was really based on the idea of, was really reflective of that state of consciousness at the time. And you can think about how that energy, that source, that light that was structured to reflect our consciousness was really about limitation, restriction, forcing through the mental, forcing through the physical, separate hierarchy, control, definitely a lot around power and through the physicality of doing things, right? That energetics has certainly shifted. As I mentioned, your consciousness is a vastly different state of consciousness than it was before. You, on some level, on a linear perspective, are vibrating at a higher rate. You're vibrating at a much higher speed compared to the past, right? So if you think about the old structures that were built in that energetics, you can think about a government structure, educational structures, health structures, the financial structures, everything you've known in terms of our society built on those energetics is reflective of that energetics of what I just talked about. So you can expect a lot of these structures, deep core beliefs that we've had around our society and how we create and source things from the universe to shift into change. It's going to be somewhat chaotic in the next few years as we shift those energetics. So it's like, you can imagine like a structure that was built as in light, it's via light, and that light is shifting around so that we as higher vibrational beings that are incorporating a different consciousness can source from the universe a different way. And that way is a lot more, I would say, that new sourcing from the universe is a lot more connected. It's a lot more open. It's a lot more heart-based. It's a lot more abundant, loving, compassionate, free, flowing, right? Connected and less dependent on the physicality of stuff and less focused on the driving things through the mental body, right? It's really about the wholeness and balance of the heart-based type of creation. And that that's going to show you kind of how where you align. Knowing that information, that can kind of give you an idea of which platform you're playing with. You will know which platform you're working with based on the emotions and the energetics that you get from those from your experiences, right? If you're a high vibrational being, and you're trying to force things through the lower vibrational components, structures that we have dealt with in the past, you're going to be using a lot of energy to slow yourself down, to force it through the old structure. That's going to deplete you. You're going to feel very frustrated. You're going to feel very angry. You're going to get triggered via the emotional body, all the lower vibrational things that you have trying to avoid, right? You're going to feel like it takes forever to accomplish things through the old energetics. Versus if you're doing things through the new energetics, in terms of the open source, more heart-based, etc., you'll find that you'll get the higher vibrational mirrored back emotions, which is really around joy, love, happiness, comfort, peace, flow, freedom, abundant, right? That is how you're going to know as a creator being which platform you are working with, and which energetics that you are working with, whether or not you are aligned with the old energetics or you are aligned with the desires and outcomes of what you have been wishing for as you go along as a creator. That is going to be super helpful for you to understand where you are in relationship to your desires and your current state of being. So be mindful of the experiences that you are having and what is being mirrored back to you as the creator. Are these experiences that you're having in discord causing you all these low vibrational emotions and experience energetically, or are they higher vibrational energetics that you're feeling more joy and more love and more passion for? That's how you know you're working with the higher vibrational sourcing through the universe that's matching up with your desires and what is for your highest good, compared to the lower stuff where you need to stop. Look at that box and the attachments that you have associated with that, and understand that that no longer works with you. If you want a desired outcome, then you need to shift around the things that you are holding on to, your beliefs, so that you can make room for the new you or the new things that you have coming into your life. So in these times of change, which is brought about us individually and collectively, you have to be honest with yourself. You have to be honest with what you want so that you can align with what feels good for you and your desires. This will help you cut through all the BS. It will help you cut through all the nebulous confusion that's going to be occurring in the next few years as we deal with change and we're wondering what is happening. The world feels like it's going to hell in a handbasket. But in fact, what's occurring is that you and the collective is desiring something new, and it's being reflected out to us in the law of attraction, and it's time for us to look at our beliefs so that we can source from the universe a more connected, universal, love, heart-based reality that aligns with the age of Aquarius. So hopefully that helps you, and if you guys have any questions, reach out to me. I love you. We'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.